Hello there. I hope you're having a nice day. I sure am. It's a nice rainy day outside. I figured I'll sit down and get back to making a video for once. It's been like 2 months since I've done anything. Today I wanted to have a look at a structure that's so significant that it literally changed the landscape of Auckland as a whole. Not Auckland City, but Auckland as a region. In fact, it changed Auckland so much, it turned Auckland City and North Shore City into one. And that is the Auckland Harbour Bridge. Dun dun dun. Maybe skip that bit. The Auckland Harbour Bridge spans the Waitemata Harbour, a natural bridge that was used by Europeans and Maoris for centuries. The bridge connects St. Mary's Bay on the city side and Northcote on the North Shore side. It is part of State Highway number 1 as well as part of the Northern Motorway, and currently it carries over 200,000 cars per day. Before the bridge was built, crossing this harbour was a major challenge for everybody that lived on the shore or lived in Auckland. The only way to travel between North Shore and the city used to be the ferry, which was unreliable because one, it was back in the day, but also because it would be affected by the weather, and sometimes the fog will be so bad that you couldn't even see across to the city. Alternatively, one could take the detour by the Northern Motorway, which was then only complete between Great North Road and Lincoln Road and drive through Messy, Riverhead and Albany, and this was approximately a distance of 50 kilometers, which was a huge detour back in the day and still is now when the bridge is closed. Because of this, there was very little connectivity between North Shore and Auckland City back in the day. In fact, North Shore, as I mentioned before, used to be a whole separate city of its own. The idea of building a bridge across the Waitemata Harbour is not a new one. In fact, it was first proposed in 1860s, but as many great construction projects, it faced many challenges and delays. The first Royal Commission on the matter was held in 1929, but it decided that the bridge was not justified by the current population. However, it did set some requirements for the bridge, such as the minimum clearance and span for the navigation channels, as the bridge was set right where the ships would come in to unload and load off of Waitemata Harbour. Given that the Waitemata Harbour houses one of the biggest shipping ports in the entire country, not to mention Chelsea Sugar Works, who frequently took in shipments from overseas as well as outward shipping. The second Royal Commission was held in 1946, after a public petition supported by the Waitemata Harbour Bridge Association and the Automobile Association. This time, the Commission concluded that a bridge will be needed within 15 years, and recommended a site and a design for the bridge. It also rejected the option of a tunnel, which was considered too costly. And to be honest, it still is. That option comes up frequently and it gets shut down every time. The third Royal Commission was held in 1950 after the government changed and the new Minister of Works, Robert Semple, opposed the bridge project. He argued that the bridge will be too expensive and too narrow and too ugly, and that a tunnel will be a better solution. However, the Commission reaffirmed the previous findings and recommended proceeding with the bridge. The Auckland Harbour Bridge Act was passed in 1950, establishing the Auckland Harbour Bridge Authority, whose sole purpose was to construct, maintain and control the bridge. The authority hired Freeman Fox and Partners, a British engineering firm that had a long history of building bridges around the world, including the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Forth Road Bridge in Scotland. The firm was known for its expertise in steel construction and suspension bridges, and had also designed the Taina Bridge in Newcastle, which was a prototype for the Sydney Harbour Bridge. The construction began in 1954 and was completed in 1959. At a cost of 4 lives and £16 million, equivalent to about 600 million New Zealand dollars today. The bridge was built by a joint venture of two British companies, Dorman Long and Cleveland Bridge and Engineering Company, which had also collaborated on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Dorman Long was a steel producer and bridge builder based in Middlesbrough, while Cleveland Bridge was an engineering company based in Darlington. The construction took 4 years and involved more than 1,000 workers who had to overcome many challenges such as strong winds, high tides, and difficult terrain. The winds around there get over 90 kilometers per hour gusts. Sometimes it can get as high as 140 kilometers per hour gusts. So imagine you're like in the middle of laying trusses on the bridge and 140k gust comes in. And this is back in the day before all the safety stuff came in. And the land around the bridge is made up of very hard rock and soil. It took a long time for them to just dig through all that and deal with all that. When the bridge was completed, it was 1,020 meters long, which makes it the second longest road bridge in New Zealand and the longest in the North Island, each identified by a letter A to G, standing from Auckland city side. The spans vary in length from 72.6 meters to 243.8 meters, depending on the location and the design of the bridge. The main span, B, is the longest and the most distinctive part of the bridge. It is 243.8 meters long and has a steep arch that rises 43.27 meters above high water. This height allows ships to pass under the bridge and access the Chelsea Sugar Refinery, one of the few deep-water wharves west of the bridge. The Chelsea Sugar Refinery is a historical industrial site that has been producing sugar in New Zealand since 1884, and is the only sugar refinery in New Zealand. The main span is supported by two pairs of towers that are 82.3 meters high and have a distinctive A-frame shape. The towers are made of hollow steel sections that are filled with concrete for stability. The main span is also suspended by steel cables that are hung from the towers and attached to the decks. The cables are made of parallel steel wires that are bundled together and coated with zinc. The bridge has a steel box girder deck that is supported by steel cables hung from two pairs of towers. The towers are 82.3 meters high and have a distinctive A-frame shape. The towers are made of hollow steel sections that are filled with concrete. As it was first built, the original bridge only had 4 lanes, two lanes each way, and a 12.8 meter wide roadway, which in today's standard is very, very narrow. I mean, have you seen those new bloody trucks, mate? The tradies are driving? The 5 lanes were originally considered when it was only meant to be a road instead of part of the highway. It was soon apparent that this was not enough to cope with the increasing traffic and population growth on the North Shore. In 1968, the bridge was widened by adding 2 lanes on each side, cantilevered off the original piers. The new lanes were of a different design, using orthodox box structures instead of box trusses. The widening project doubled the capacity of the bridge and cost $7.5 million. These are known as Nippon Clip-ons, as a Japanese firm had built them. There is a bit of a rumor that the New Zealand government only paid 1 cent to this Japanese firm, and in exchange for that they signed an agreement with the Japanese government saying that the New Zealand government will take as many used Japanese cars as possible, hence why we have so many old Japanese shitboxes everywhere. I don't know if it's true, I haven't seen any evidence, but it is a very popularly held belief, and to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. Originally, the bridge had a toll, as well as toll booths, but it was removed in 1985. The old toll control center serves as a police station now. The Auckland Harbour Bridge is not only a functional piece of infrastructure, but also a cultural and historical landmark. It has been the site of various events and celebrations, such as the opening ceremony in 1959, the royal visit in 1963, and the 25th anniversary in 1984, the Millennium Fireworks in 2000s, and Rugby World Cup in 2011. The bridge is also famous for its bungee jumping attraction, operated by AJ Hackett since 2003. As part of that, you can also walk on top of the bridge, where they do the maintenance. It's apparently very cool, but I am deathly scared of heights, so I've never been, and I have absolutely zero desire to go up there personally. But if you do get the chance, it seems like quite an experience. The Auckland Harbour Bridge is also facing some challenges and changes in the near future. The bridge is aging and deteriorating, and requires constant maintenance and repairs. In 2020, the bridge was damaged by a freight wind gust that toppled a truck and broke two of the center span cables. The bridge was closed for several days, causing major traffic disruptions and highlighting the vulnerability of the bridge. The bridge is also reaching its capacity and cannot cope with the growing demand for travel across the harbour. The bridge is often congested and unreliable, especially during peak hours and weekends. The bridge also lacks dedicated lanes for public transport, which limits the options and efficiency for commuters. To address these issues, the government is planning to build a second harbour crossing, which will provide a new rapid transit link between the city centre and the North Shore, as well as more capacity and reliability for private vehicles and freight, as well as more capacity and reliability for private vehicles and freight. It will also enable more walking and cycling across the harbour and reduce the dependency on the existing bridge. Currently, if you ever want to walk across the bridge, the only way to do that is to join the Auckland Marathon. However, this has been discussed at length and no action has been carried out, as the second harbour crossing is a complex and controversial project that will affect the future of the Auckland Harbour Bridge and the city as a whole. Some people are in favour of keeping the existing bridge and enhancing its heritage and recreational value, while others are in favour of removing the existing bridge and creating a new urban waterfront. Some people are concerned about the environmental and social impact of a new crossing, while others are excited about the opportunities and benefits it will bring. What do you think? Do you have a preferred scenario for the crossing? And what do you think the Auckland Harbour Bridge means for the people of Auckland? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know if there's a particular topic of New Zealand that you would like me to cover. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, do leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe, do all that. I hope you learned something, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.